Monongahela abstract construct. Strange things happen under heat and pressure. Carboniferous and feather-weightless, splendid leaf flesh sputters, soils, sinks to breathlessness in bogs. Littered into lifelessness, it's left to lignite and oppressed by all that lingers over it, bituminous. Ingrained bone-tooth, skeleton, sand dollars, spent shark teeth, and shards of ghost shell coral settle into cream soup's chalk paint, patiently, ground to sentimental ground, cemented sedimentary, sublime. Sublimation, space, and time constraints, not to mention magmatic magnanimity, prevent a thorough discourse on our legacy of quartz and other shamanistic silicates, in present hereto, foregone sandbar. Spin tectonic grooves in unlocked combinations, coal, limestone, sand, our vegetable and animal and mineral. Cement mix in a river's worth in metaphor. Near anything will set into a probable. But we forget the weeds and ways that melt us. After salt truck entropy confounds and cracks us, we are born. So let's get down to nuts and bolts. Thoughts boost action. Verb boots ass end unobstructed up Monongahela abstract construct in a downtown dues. Concretes to mankind city built of glass and steel upon sponge hollow subterrane, a quivering fourth river rumor. Of a sudden, current's compass turns from exclamation point to western bent and shrugs off final downcast steps. Deconstruction of an industry, like deconstruction of a steel mill, takes whatever water, wind, and whim will do. Will builds, then grinds, unsettles under overgrowth and low, and oh, the things we'll make of this. Globbing gobs of glass to wares the river bears for toasting every table, and for window plate reflections, our perspective on a universal pain. That is, until our appetite devours sandbar and we find we've filled the place. Hungry, wide open, mouth agape, Monongahela freed our keelboat habit, steered it circular so we invented need for elbow room, and paddle steamed our eastern, westward. One could say we sold it down the river, as efficient as a means there was to get there. Before we got there, railways learned to follow river logic, and this river swallows all. The salt to taste, and pepper liberally with everything a workman river's profiteering margins peppered with. A legacy of soot, smoke, smog, bescabbing lazy heaven fog, come unstuck, rising, falling into rills and runs and valleys. A derelict wind at Curl of Mon, penny whistles carry furnace numbers 6 and 7, monumentaling black smoke fire with graffiti and an information kiosk on a greening brownfield truss bridge railroad tethered to the steel heart throb and open hearth of Homestead Works. Rather, where it worked. Where Carnegie cornered market with the process, then cornered us with Frick. All these burning acres roiling in a rumble rage of roaring lonesome, seeping molten steel to blooms and ingots, slabs and sheets and plates, hot-rolled, cold-rolled, cast. This died. Once the smoke had cleared, it was empty as a hollow coal hill mountain, useful as a broke-back Parthenon, and busted. Once the smoke cleared, stilted smokestacks were our tallest shade trees. Grave and Bloomfields fell to riverbank, then fell once more to feed Monongahela. Once the smoke cleared, there was sky, and there was light enough for one more bright idea. We shaved our vegetative beard, scour scrubbed and paved it plain into trans-region destination. At edge of ample parking lot, a park bench overlooks the beachhead landing Pinkerton's 300 could not take. Where we fed our iron stomach appetite like Cortez feeding Montezuma, we've a waterfront for shopkeep mall consumerisms. coffee, home improvement, TV, movie, electronics, books, and exercycles boxed and stacked into a pyramid of product lines and realistically portrayed as placed in cinematic Googleplex, cross-referenced resonant as hum from vortex, echoing the manner water scours rock, but as the handclap sound of superstar comes superstore. Like exculpated wandering, oxidation means corrosion, regardless of the carbon content or what ambitious vanity might label precious. Metals yield to bent of time and brittle into red dust chronicles. Then again, steelers still recall their best campaigns on grounds of Mesta, where machine shops factored things of any shape, size, or configuration long as flat car bore the weight. There is weight room inside UPMC Sports Performance Complex where American footballers take their medicine. Scatterings of steelworks left behind along Monongahela's trails recoil, recowled. Boilered chimneys, wood stuff, stone foundations, shop floor bricks and creosoted pinings of our being, loudly, loudest, longest. Wall paint signage spent and spelt in postscript letters. Track, machine, carriage, bridge, bolts, nuts and washers, railroad picks, crow and claw bars, lag screws, telegraph and telephone pole equipment, steel insulator pins, track bolts of any pattern, threads rolled or cut in oil, correspondence solicited, Oliver Iron and Steel Company, Pittsburgh, USA. There's our human footprint, certainly. But it's just us, not of us, obviated. Decay decries such curse from perspective of our ape-modeled brave impatience of something permanent, consumed by sudden, unexpected, somehow. But a river's more than persons busily observing it, and this one's named for falling banks. Like most nouns, and mostly thanks to gravity, we things are drawn to river until, leaning over, find we've fallen in, returned as bone or stone or clump of dirt, ash, trash, or beer cans, sewer runoff, shopping carts, or empty barges. The underwhelming overbite of history finds low ground, whether smallpox blanket, whiskey tax, or stadium. Reflecting on a downtown mirror, reconstructed, reconcreted buildings, visaged from across Monongahela, mimic us. Our backways moments passing, imperceptibly untracked by a series of egos, too long distracted to linger on a has-been hall of mirrors. So, mesmerized by moonlight, we can't see above the zombie landscape. Once the smoke cleared, there was fog. Fog flattens undead mystery to myth. In this mystique, misfires into pang of things outrageous. The best of beauty's sake and slag molts into struggle belch Monongahela. Whether by affair of words out overly defensive mouths, or smell from something in us, we conceive magnificent. We swell into empirical munificence. These are munitions unencumbered by our ruined crypto-parentheticals. Such advertising trickery is still bound to yogic tendrils. Our dissociative bombs' laws unenforceable. When machine drums beat no longer, the silence of theologies leaves us mossed and mothballed. Fog is penance for the smoke we made. Ash will settle into dust. Monongahela once again will bury us, and we'll be gone like mists, America.